from a practical standpoint, just from a humanistic standpoint, the sex is so good, right?
Mhm.
It was nice. The pleasures was definitely there all three times, and even the oral sex. But it's very unfulfilling because once it's over. Versus when you're in a committed relationship with someone, you're married to them, you're really building a life with this person. And the sex becomes fulfilling because it's
Mhm.
feeling the emotional bond with that person. And you coming home to that person every night. They're coming home to you, for the most part, unless y'all traveling for work or something of that nature. But it's just like, man, we slept together. Now I'm going to leave. That moment is over with. Like, that's it. But it didn't really mean anything because it's not leading to anything. Even if you're in a relationship with somebody, y'all boyfriend and girlfriend, y'all having sex, and y'all may be thinking you building a life together because you're boyfriend and girlfriend, but you're really not building a life together that's pleasing to God. In your mind, you may say, oh, this relationship is fulfilling, but deep down inside, you know this is not fulfilling. And then you really start to feel what love really is, even to the point where this young lady's like, oh, hey, I love you. But I love you to the degree that I shouldn't even want to put your soul at risk, let alone my
Mhm.
own soul. I should be loving you to the point to where, hey, no, we can't do this. Let's just hang out. Let's just chill. And so it makes you start thinking about all these different things. We shouldn't be sexual or moral, or why we shouldn't do these things. It just kind of adds to this damaging emotional roller coaster that us humans go on where we do things outside of God. Now, when you get away from God and you do some of those things, now you have these feelings.
Mhm.
And those feelings are really just void that you're trying to fulfill with where God stuff is supposed to be there. And oftentimes we don't think God stuff is fulfilling because God stuff may not always feel good. It's just like I say, the story in the Bible when the dude raped his sister. By sleeping with her and raping her, he thought he would be fulfilled. His lust caused him to think, oh, this will fulfill me. But in reality, it didn't fulfill him, but it caused him to hate her and be mad at her, which he was the one to blame.
And I mean, we also do have to understand that once we do stuff that's outside of God, even if we forgive him, we still got to live with some of the stuff. And one of the things that we got to live with is once you hit that ass, not King, it didn't matter if it was hers or somebody else. Once you know what that ass feels like, you're going to want it forever. Once you did it the first time, that's the one that really mattered. The first one. The first one is the one that did the deed. Once you got that ass that first time, before you was supposed to, you signed your name up for the problems that come with it. You know, there are levels to that. You bit the fruit too, and your eyes was open, and now you know what that ass feel like. It ain't no going back.
You're right. Once you did it outside of God the first time, you know what it is.
You ain't finna forget what that ass felt like. It's over. It's done. You know, unless you have a tragic accident, you're not gonna forget what that ass feel like. You sign up for that. You don't realize that until after you do it. But once you felt that ass, it's over. You can't forget that. You ain't gonna let it go. And even in your situation, celibate, you still remember what that ass felt like.
Oh yeah, man. With her, definitely in particular, boy, cause she got some good. Oh my.
And that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? And right there is the problem. It is what it is. You know, how you gonna go back from that? It's made to please you. Well, it's made to reproduce.
Yeah, for like 3 years, like I didn't see this particular girl
You
have like.
cleansed yourself from the arguments, the whatever, the bullshit, the little here, the little, all that. Why we stopped, you cleansed yourself. And so, yeah, this one was pure first time, no problem sex. It's going to feel amazing. So much so you forget about all the problems that you signing up for. And that's why we make the same mistakes again and again and again. Because you wait enough time, and that's what happened. They say you wipe the slate clean.
And overestimating how strong we are. The person who's been off crack, let's say 6 months or a year, and they like, man, I'm good. And then they go to the crack house, not with the intentions to smoke crack, but maybe they just go to the neighborhood to holler at an old friend or something like that. And you like, man, I'm good. Like I ain't do crack. I done went to the rehab. You get there, smelling it, and your body know what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then man, let me just get a little taste.
And to that very point, when that type of stuff happens, if you've ever relapsed on something, you damn sure didn't look back and remember all the time where you got jumped in the alley and all the fucked up time. That shit brought you back to a time when you laughed hard, had a good old time. Was the you know what I mean? You don't. That's how it works.
Your mind doesn't go to all the bad things or the negative sides of that. And now you don't relapse. Once you get that little taste, before you know it, it's like, ah, shoot,
Welcome back.
welcome back.
I think every so often we all have to take honest inventory, and you just got to ask yourself some very specific questions about whatever current situation you got going on. Hey man, is this going on or is this going on? You got to get to the bottom of shit and get a real answer. Even if the answer is bad, you got to get to it. That way you know where you at and you know what you need to do. Your mind could dance around some shit. Your mind is more than capable of dancing around some shit forever. If you want to do that, then you could spend your life in the wilderness. Again, I think that you may be a representative, you know what I mean, for other people in certain spaces. And it could be one of those times where this is what's going on. You know what I mean? You fail so that you can open the door for somebody to share their story. Man, I'm weakening up, and it's because of, you gotta answer that question, the why. Why? You know why. And if you don't know why, then that's an answer too. And once you get to the bottom of it, then you got a clear picture of what's going on. And then again, you ask yourself the only question you can ask next. Like, all right, well, now that I have the truth, what do I do with it?